biblical events worldwide this week from Jason A. Channel. Let's check it out.
The skies over Venezuela's capital Caracas turned deep red at sunset. The unusual scenes came as Venezuela has continued its rescue efforts following the twin earthquakes last week. Take a look at these images.
Cuando llueve, que llueve mucho porque eso es Caribe, igual que Miami, igual que todo.
Following breaking news right now in Oregon, just off the Oregon coast, there's been an earthquake. A magnitude 5.5 quake just hit 100 miles west of Coos Bay about 4:30 this morning.
Oh, another sizable earthquake off the Oregon coast this morning, magnitude 5.5, and it comes on the heels of a 5.6 last Wednesday, felt by many in southern Oregon. As reporter Eli Kuhn explains, experts say there's no cause for concern, but they're urging people to stay prepared.
A magnitude 5.5 earthquake was reported around 4:30 Monday morning, about 135 miles off the coast of
Getting
Bandon.
a lot more earthquakes
the quake was
lately.
far enough off the coast that no tsunami warning was issued. Experts at the Cascadia Region Earthquake Science Center, or Crescent, say despite a handful of earthquakes over the past few weeks, there is no cause for concern.
That's
don't worry about
normal. I mean, there's no increase in earthquake activity from what we would call background rates. Seismicity, as we call it, is always happening, almost always really low magnitude, magnitude 2s and 3s, things that are imperceptible.
Just after 4:30 Monday morning, a 5.5 magnitude earthquake was reported, about 135 miles off the coast of Bandon. This is the second magnitude 5 earthquake in the region in the past week, but experts say they've been too far off the shore to warrant concern.
The number one variable to think about when you think about earthquakes is distance. If you're close to an earthquake, even small ones, that can be bad. But because it's, several hundred miles offshore, we're just too far. It's the same thing as light. If you look at a tiny LED light really up close into your eye, you'll probably burn your retina.
Why would you want to do that?
But if you look at that LED light from 100 miles away, you'll barely even notice it.
Monday morning's earthquake occurred in the Blanco fracture zone, which is significantly further offshore than the Cascadia fault that extends roughly 30 to 40 miles off the coast. I spoke with researchers at the Cascadia Region Earthquake Science Center, or Crescent, about the differences between the two faults.
The Blanco will probably never have an earthquake larger than about magnitude 7, which is, big, but it's not nearly as big as what is possible in Cascadia. Cascadia is just a bigger fault. It's capable of hosting up to magnitude 9 events, which is why we worry most about Cascadia.
Even though Monday morning's earthquake posed no significant threat to the Oregon coast, officials at Crescent say it's an important reminder to be prepared in the case of an earthquake-related emergency.
They're also a good reminder of, hey, do I actually know what to do when the big event happens? Do I have a plan with my family? What happens if the kids are at school? What happens if we're at soccer practice? Do I know where my hospitals are? Do we have an earthquake kit? That kind of thing. So people should think about that a little bit at dinner time tonight if they can.
We begin tonight in southern Illinois, where a minor earthquake hit the region overnight. Some people in the tri-state said that they felt it. Thankfully, no damage was reported, but Eyewitness News' Joe Pergola went to the epicenter in Edwards County and tells us why some there still were shocked by the quake.
It's been an active week in the tri-state. First, it was the tornadoes, then it was the flash floods, and now the people here in West Salem say they felt the community shake after a 3.5 magnitude earthquake hit the area.
Completely unrelated, but it just like the last couple of reporters they've had on there, man. I guess I'm just getting old because I'm like, man, they look young. They look too young to be a reporter.
Everybody's asking, what was that?
Many in the tri-state felt it, and some were woken up by it.
I was awake at about 2, just after 2. Just felt like somebody slapped the house pretty hard. There was just a kind of a wham.
That wham turned out to be an earthquake that hit in the middle of the night. The epicenter of the quake was just a few miles northeast of West Salem in Edwards County. People have reported feeling it throughout Illinois and Indiana, with some saying they felt it in Gibson, Vandenberg, and even Warwick County. The crazy thing is, it's been years since the people here have felt an earthquake, and it just so happened to come during one of the wildest weeks of weather in recent memory.
It's strange to have that happen in the heartland here where you don't really expect it.
I mean, it's kind of been unprecedented the last year or so, seeing getting to see a lot of it up close. I mean, we had a tornado not that long ago that came through, and then the earthquake last night.
Self-proclaimed earthquake nerd Jeff Burgett is from Hawaii, where the tremors are much more common. But he says these types of weather events can happen anywhere.
If you hit a golf ball and it lands on a blade of grass, that blade of grass is going to go, why me? But it had to hit somewhere. These things have to happen somewhere.
It's been nearly a decade since this area of southern Illinois felt an earthquake this strong when a 3.8 magnitude earthquake hit near Albion in 2017.
Earthquakes also rattled Northern California and Japan yesterday. A 5.6 magnitude quake centered in the rural California community of Willits shook homes and businesses. Video shows groceries and bottles toppling off store shelves. A few minor injuries were reported. And in northern Japan, several cameras captured the moment a 7.2 quake struck. The government says nuclear sites were not damaged, but issued a warning about aftershocks. 6 people were injured there.
Venezuela, where tonight the country announced the death toll has risen to close to 2,000 people nearly a week after back-to-back earthquakes leveled tens of thousands of buildings. The demand for space so high, a port is now being used as a morgue where there are hundreds of coffins as family members arrive to identify loved ones. Here's Janice Fernandez.
Tonight, the search for victims now critical as the death toll rises in Venezuela. It has been 6 days since devastating twin earthquakes flattened neighborhoods, destroying buildings, leaving thousands homeless, dozens of new bodies still being found in the rubble.
1943.
Venezuela's Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez announcing Tuesday 1,943 people confirmed dead, with more than 10,000 injured. The port of La Guaira, now a temporary morgue. Hundreds of coffins lined up as families identify loved ones. This satellite image from NASA showing the shocking impacts from the quakes concentrated along the Central Coast and Caracas corridor. The red indicating destroyed buildings. The assessment, more than 58,000 structures likely destroyed or damaged. Survivors of the earthquakes sheltered in tents in Caracas. Authorities and aid agencies warned of mounting needs among thousands of people who are now homeless. Those displaced, like Ana Espinosa, describe the trauma and uncertainty.
In my country, Venezuela, we had never experienced such a strong earthquake, and much less 2 in a row. Many of us lost our homes. It was the kind of situation you close your eyes and never want to go through again, because it was very intense.
In La Guaira, the hardest hit state, food shortages are widespread, according to the UN.
Basic services have broken down, and connectivity has been largely severed. Community tensions are rising as access to assistance remains constrained.
Venezuela is reeling from the after effects of 2 devastating earthquakes. Thousands are feared to be trapped, and the South American country is not alone. Across the globe, countries like Japan, the Philippines, and Nicaragua were also struck by major earthquakes last week. This has brought to the focus the major seismic zone of Pacific Ring of Fire.
And it's funny. Just saying about how earthquakes are increasing. And that's one of the things that Jesus said to look for. Earthquakes would increase. There would be wars. Rumors of wars. But what was the first thing that he said? Can you all tell me? Is do not be deceived. Take heed that no one deceives you. That would tell me that during that time, this is the time that the disciples were asking what's going to be like at the end. And he said, take heed that no one deceives you. That means we're under some great deception right now, folks, because we are in the last times, man. We are right down to the last minutes, whether you want to believe it or not. But I will tell you this. Regardless if you believe in the Bible or not, all right? I'm not going to say, oh, it doesn't matter if you believe in God, God believes in you. No, I'm not going to say that. All right? All I know is only now, okay, we've had, the complete Bible since 364 AD from the Council of Nicaea. And then we've had the King James Version of the Bible since 1641, over 500 years. And at no point throughout all of that, here's my point, this is what I'm getting to. At no point during all those decades and years and centuries, the things that were talked about in Revelation were just that. I mean, we could barely get our heads wrapped around it. I remember even being a kid and stuff and growing up in the 70s and 80s and stuff, people talking about the Revelation. The big thing was, the late great Planet Earth, the book that just flew off, shelves. Hal Lindsey, because he was the first one to really try and explain the book of Revelation. But what I'm getting at is this: it's only now, in this time frame, right now, that we have the ability for all of that to be able to take place. I mean, the one thing that was always getting me, that I was waiting for, because I figured out the other one, when the two witnesses are killed and it says that every eye will see. All right, we got satellites now, man. I can see in real time what's going on in Israel at this very moment if they had a camera on, But the one thing that got me, the one thing that always, like, man, how's this going to happen? Is talk about a statue that's made in the image of the beast, the world leader. And the crazy part about it is it begins to talk. And it backs up the words of the beast, and demands that you bow down and worship. And those that don't, that statue kills people. All right? AI answered that question. We're here, man. Now, as far as those data centers and stuff that was talked about earlier, I don't know what... I mean, it's just off the charts, the amount of power that they're generating with these data centers. And there's got to be more to it than Chat GPT and trying to figure out your latest little question for it. No, they got some other things in mind. I can't even pretend to know what they are. But you can guarantee that they do have something else in mind that they're not telling us. I'm watching on X every day, and they're putting up flock cameras everywhere. They got people out there cutting them down and doing all that stuff, but eventually they're going to overcome us, man. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to start looking into it, all right? I'll try and find some videos on it, one of these future streams, but the flock cameras, man, they're about everywhere, and they're completely invading your privacy. There is no privacy anymore. Switching it up.